All right. How's it going, everyone? Happy Monday. Nick Marro, DFS here with Smitty and Occupy Fantasy, as always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Sorry for the delay, guys. That's on me. I had something to take care of before we went live. Didn't want to have to run away for a second, so we are good to go now. Interesting night, though. We only have 6 games on DK. FanDuel back to including the late games. They have 8 games over there. We will talk you through all 8 games, game by game. If you have questions, try to get them in at the time of the game we're discussing, but we should be able to get to anyone. Smitty, what are your initial thoughts tonight, man? Looks like we got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, overall, it seems like a pretty good slate. I think there's not a ton of pay-ups if you're playing on DraftKings, so makes it a little weird. But on FanDuel, you get plenty of pay-ups, lots of good value. So overall, I think it's a good slate.
Yep. A lot of different ways to go. Still some news we're waiting on. Shouts out chat first. We got Ben in here. Appreciate you. Who's going to be our first roster, Jose? We will determine that soon. Might depend on the site tonight. There's the comment I made saying we're starting at 5. Yeah, Matherin. A lot of people on him for sure. He's been great with the clips. Shouts out Heath. Cards. Did I spill coffee again? Not today. No coffee today. But yeah, we just had to take care of some day job stuff. We got Finch in here saying hello. Unicorn also on Garland and Tatum. And our man Swerve is back. Appreciate you, my man. So let's go ahead and get into the game by game here. Looking at the injury report. First game on the slate, 7 p.m. We have the Warriors taking on the Wizards. Warriors are favored here on the road. No major surprise there, but a lot of guys out for them tonight. Steph Curry, Seth Curry, Cryer, Butler, all going to be out. Draymond's back. He's probable. No Al Horford, no Moses Moody, no Quentin Post, but notably, Porzingis is back and likely to start at center here. Pretty interesting spot. Not really any news we're waiting on, so we kind of know what to expect going in. I mean, Pods has been good. I don't mind him on FanDuel. The price on DK is a bit prohibitive. With Porzingis, it's interesting. I mean, the minutes are kind of risky. He hasn't played more than 22 as a Warrior yet, but he's been getting there. So I don't mind mixing him in. Definitely prefer him over on DK, but he does have power forward eligibility on both sites. It's kind of gross, but I think my favorite Warrior tonight might be Gary Payton. The field seems to be getting there, though. He's just been a beast point per minute, fantasy point per minute, that is, even coming off the bench. The steals, the blocks, he's doing it all. Shooting a lot more recently. Went 3 for 6 from 3 yesterday, which is rare from him, but just doing a little bit of everything, which we do love to see from DFS. Smitty, how do you feel about the Warriors here? It is a good matchup against Washington.
Yeah, overall, it's a good spot to attack. We got Santos, Pods. They've been playing a ton of minutes. I don't mind either of them. Like you said, I prefer them on FanDuel for their prices. Porzingis, assuming he starts at center, I think on DraftKings he looks okay. Don't mind him. You're not going to get the minutes ceiling, but he could still put up a big score even in those minutes. Other than that, you mentioned Gary Payton. Don't mind him. Not really too into like a Melton or someone like that. So everyone else kind of just looks like GPP plays. If I get a little Melton, I'll probably roll with it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Again, Melton priced up now. And Gary's been out playing him off the bench, but still no Moses Moody. Should benefit both of those guys. Over on the Wizards side of things, it looks like Trey Young is going to be in and available tonight. They don't have Kaishan George, D'Lo, Sar, Whitmore, Leaky Black, or AD. But Trey Young himself, we have at just 22 minutes. Unlike Porzingis, I don't think he could get there just playing 22 minutes. He's priced in the 7K range. Most interesting play, I guess, is going to be Vucevic with Sar out. He's probably going to get the start here at center, but he's another guy who we really haven't seen playing more than 20 minutes consistently. The model does like him. He rates as the best value play here. Not a bad matchup either, especially if it's going to be Porzingis starting at the 5. Obviously, Draymond's out there as well, but he can get there in those limited minutes. So at low ownership, I don't mind a few shots on him. Just surprised he looks as good in the model as he does, just getting 21. If Will Riley starts, you can mix him in. I think Bilal Coulibaly on DK probably the most interesting play. Again, it's just minutes for him. He's been playing more minutes than anyone else pretty consistently. And then I'll throw Will Riley in that group as well, but he's been pretty terrible, even when he's getting runs. So I don't mind a little Vuk, maybe a little bit Coulibaly. It's just tough to get to this team from you, Smitty. How about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I'd be fine playing no Wizards, but don't mind getting to a little bit of Vuk. And then, like you said, Koulibaly. Are not Vuk, but you can kind of trust Koulibaly's minutes. He's kind of just a mid-range play that is like a last man in, so I don't mind him. Julian Reese at his price on DraftKings, probably not a play we need to consider, but if you're playing like large field, I don't mind taking a shot there.
Yeah, he hasn't been seeing the minutes lately, but Sar's been back. It'll be interesting to see if he gets back into the rotation here. I do think Vuk will get the start, but again, playing limited minutes, maybe they do get Reese some run. He is popping in the model, which means he's getting at least 10. So that is notable. Next game here at 7 p.m., we get the Magic taking on the Hawks. Hawks are favored here at home. Pretty high total, 231.5 points. Orlando's been excellent lately. Anthony Black is going to be out. No Castleton. Jet Howard, who missed the game, is available. No Franz Wagner or Jonathan Isaac, though. The Magic have been really interesting lately. They're getting hot at the right time, obviously, with the season kind of winding down. I mean, with no Anthony Black, that does benefit Suggs, Bain, and Bonchero a little bit. They're going to see a bit more usage than usual here. Picking from that group's kind of tough. I do think they're all viable. Then Tristan Da Silva has been an absolute beast given these opportunities. The issue, though, today is just that now he's priced at 6K on FanDuel, 5,600 on DK. He's just a tough click now with that price increase. Wendell Carter Jr. has been playing really well. I don't know how long he can keep it up. I don't mind mixing him in here. It's a good matchup for him. He's probably my favorite Magic player just because of the point per dollar consideration. The model likes him a lot, over a 15 value score with both sites. But you can make a case for Suggs, Bain, Bonchero. Again, I think Carter's my favorite. Probably don't get any De Silva or the bench guys. Smitty, how do you feel about these Magic?
Yeah, pretty similar here. I think Palo, as especially on DraftKings where we just don't have a lot of big raw point scorers, he's definitely in play in a pretty good game environment going against Atlanta. So I think Palo's a pretty good tournament play. Other than that, Bane's fine to get to on FanDuel. I feel fine with Suggs too. I think Suggs' minutes have been pretty strong, so I think he's pretty good. Wendell Carter, I'm never really going to say he's a good play, but I don't mind getting a few percent today.
Yeah, we have some kind of obvious center plays we'll talk about in a little bit. Klingon's one, I think Bagley's another, but it's keeping the ownership on Carter down. And while he has been kind of inconsistent lately, he's been a little bit better. So yeah, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't fault anyone for trying to get away there. He's burnt us a few times this year. On the Hawks side of things, Kuminga's going to be available. Other than that, just G Leaguers here on the injury report. So this team's about as healthy as they've been all season. Honestly, a little bit surprised we're not seeing more ownership going to Jalen Johnson. You mentioned it on DK. There's not a ton to pay up for. He has gone over 50 DK points in 4 straight games, which makes him kind of interesting here. If you have enough value that you like, just chasing those raw points to me makes some sense. Again, more of a tournament play. He is a bit overpriced, but the matchup's fine. I mean, Orlando's good on defense, but they play fast, which kind of cancels that out. You can get to a Congo with low ownership. Again, center's kind of loaded tonight, a little bit easier over on FanDuel. And then McCollum, Daniels, Alexander Walker, all fine. I don't know that one really stands out from that group, but they're all in play. Kuminga off the bench. He is only 5K on FanDuel. I mean, that's cheap enough for me to consider him. Only played 19 minutes against Brooklyn, but I think we could see a few more for him tonight, even though we're only projecting him at that 19. But yeah, man, in general, I like this team. I just don't know if there's one play that stands out in a big way. Smitty, how do you feel about these Hawks?
Yeah, same for me. I think Jalen Johnson's a good tournament play, kind of like I said with Palo, specifically on DraftKings. And then Kaminga on FanDuel, I think's worth a lot more than 1%. Just a chance that maybe he goes out there and plays 25 minutes in a pretty decent matchup. So I like taking shots on Kaminga. DraftKings, I think you could play a couple percent, but FanDuel, I want to get well over that 1%. I think he's a pretty good tournament play.
Yeah, I agree. He's been a beast with that second unit, taking all the usage when he's out there on the floor. So definitely a good tournament play. A few extra minutes too would go a long way. Let's keep plugging away, guys, making up for the lost time that I forced us into at the start of the show. We get the Suns here taking on the Celtics. One of the lower totals on the slate, 216.5 points. Boston is favored here at home. On the Phoenix side of things, Dylan Brooks and Mark Williams are both still out, so no real surprises there. Not a great matchup for these guys on paper, for being completely honest. I mean, you can maybe mix in a little bit of Jalen Green. He's been shooting really well. Devin Booker's fine, but there's other plays in that range I think I prefer. Smitty, is there anything from Phoenix you're keying in on?
I really like Jalen Green, especially on FanDuel where he's 2%. So somewhere I'm going to have probably a pretty sizable stand, even against Boston. If they're in this game, it's him and Booker, and that's pretty much who's scoring for them. So I have a lot of interest in Green, not a whole lot in anybody else.
Yeah, I do like the green call. Four straight games over 30% usage, back to back games where he's over 50 fantasy points. So he's been getting there. A bit surprised he's not a little bit more popular, but probably my favorite some play as well. So good shout by you, Smitty. Over on the Boston side of things, no Vucevic tonight. That's really it, though. Another team that's getting a little bit healthier than they have been. Jason Tatum is going to be a talking point here. We're looking at 30 plus minutes last time out against Washington. We have him for 30 again here. 8,600 on DK, 8K on FanDuel. I do think he's playable. It is a good matchup. At the same time, can't really call him safe. But again, at the price, I do think he's pretty interesting. Jalen Brown, no ownership going to him. You have to pay a premium, but if this game's close, I do trust his minutes over Tatum's, obviously. So maybe a decent ownership pivot there. Not much else I'm interested in. I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Kada just because we know that Vucevic is out. But again, it's probably not to the point where I'd really be recommending him. We have a lot of good center plays on this slate. So a little bit of Tatum in tournaments, maybe a little bit of Jalen Brown. It's probably it for me, Smitty. How do you feel about the Celtics?
Yeah, exactly the same. Don't mind Tatum. I think Jalen Brown's a pretty decent tournament play, so it's basically just them two for me. I don't really expect to get anybody else.
Nice. Yeah, let's save some time. Go right to the next game here at 7:30. We got the Blazers taking on my Brooklyn Nets. Blazers, I believe it's a back-to-back for them. Krejci is doubtful. Dame is out. Caleb Love back with the G League. Shady and Sharp is out. Robert Williams, who played really well, is questionable. Hanson, Youngblood, a bunch of G Leaguers listed on the injury report. Pretty good spot for them, obviously. One of my favorite plays on the entire slate is going to be Donovan Clingan. He's been an absolute beast. This is a good matchup for him. He only played 27 minutes yesterday, so if you are concerned about the back-to-back for some of these guys, he's someone I really wouldn't look too deeply into. Last time this team played a back-to-back, 28th of February, he played 25 on the front half, 30 on the back half. So just going off that, I mean, 27 last night, I think he has a good chance to get over 30 as long as this game's somewhat close. And I actually think it could be because again, this is a back-to-back for Portland. Denny's back. I'm a little bit concerned about what kind of run he gets here on the back-to-back. I will say that he played 38 minutes yesterday. If we knew he'd get full run, I'd be recommending him. We have him at 34 minutes. He's a fine play, but tough to really call him a priority. The rest of this group's really tricky. We've seen big games out of Holiday, Grant. Pretty much that's it. But I guess you could mix them in. But really, Klingon's the guy for me here. I really, really do like him. And I'm curious your take on the minutes for Denny on the back to back. I wouldn't be surprised to see him a little bit limited. But yeah, he's not on the injury report, so he should be good to go. Smitty, how do you feel about the Blazers?
Yeah, I like the Blazers quite a bit. Like you mentioned, Klingon, I think he's probably one of the best center plays, especially once we get. I don't know if Robert Williams has officially been ruled out, but once we get that, his ownership will probably come up even a little bit more. Like Klingon, I think Denny's pretty good. I don't think we see the 38 minutes, but even 32 at his price, 8,800. I'm pretty happy with that on a slate where we just don't have a ton of pay ups. It wouldn't surprise me for him to give 50 in that range, so I don't mind it. Um, Always fine with Drew. Don't mind mixing him in. His minutes have been kind of hit or miss lately, but the production's always there. Scoot's been playing a lot better. That's kind of a reason for that. So I don't mind Scoot on FanDuel where he's 5,300 uh, while Sharp's out. So that's pretty much it. Klingon's my favorite. Like Denny in tournaments, and then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just one more point on Drew. He only played 24 yesterday, so there is a good chance he gets over 30 here tonight. Again, just looking at the back to backs and how these teams have been handling them. But yeah, obviously, if Denny's out there, he's got the upside. Over on the net side of things, Clowney's going to be out. Igor's out for the year. Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr. out. Ben Surratt available. No Dayron Sharp. So no Michael Porter Jr. There is obviously some blowout risk here. There would have been regardless, but again, I think they could keep it kind of close, at least for three quarters with the back to back. A lot of ownership going to Josh Minot, and I don't know that I've been as wrong about anything as I was when he played Atlanta as Chalk. The ownership did come down, which was good, but I was like, I don't get why he's getting love here. And he went for 40 fantasy points in 24 minutes. So we have him at 22 minutes. He's kind of a neutral value play. I'd honestly be looking for pivots here if we can find them. I think Zaire, he's going to start here again. The minutes for him have been capped, but if they let him run, I think his ceiling is just as high, if not higher. Danny Wolf continues to get love, but his price is up to a point now where I'm really not rushing to him. I don't know, man. I don't know that there's any net I really love here tonight. I mean, Traore is still cheap enough on both sides. He might be the guy, but the model doesn't really like it. So probably wise to just get away from this team. But are there any Brooklyn Nets standing out to you?
Yeah, I feel pretty similarly. Not a team I plan on having my night depend on. They just have a lot of bodies, so it's kind of hard to prioritize them. Um, Manat's probably my favorite, but I don't really love him at his ownership. Kind of a guy that I'd prefer to play when he's lower owned, and then when he's getting ownership, I'd like to find pivots.
Yep, that's fair. And yeah, I do think Claxton obviously has a ceiling, but back to back games are just 20 minutes. We have him just playing 21 here, so probably can't get to him. Again, the Nets are a tanking team. They're kind of flattening the minutes for guys that are healthy and obviously resting guys who probably don't need to be rested, like Porter Jr. So maybe a team to avoid. Over on to the 8 o'clock games. Before we do, I'll take a look at chat before we fall too far behind. Luke asking Vuk or Brolo. I think the minutes are safer for Brolo. I guess I slightly prefer him from those two. Smitty, do you have a lean there?
Who was it? Vuk or Brolo? Uh, Probably Brolo. I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
love either. If we knew Vooch would play more minutes, I'd be on them. Shouts out Hot Billy, biggest Jayhawk fan in the world in the building here. With no Time Lord, Klingon is a lock. Yeah, we did just get new shouts out power. Robert Williams, Aim Fitter out. And I'm with you, Jose. Definitely my favorite center play on the slate. Claxton, not the best defender, and he's only going to be out there for 20 minutes anyway. So really good matchup all around. And the minutes weren't too bad last night, so don't worry about the back to back. But let's go ahead and get into the 8 o'clock games now. We got a very appealing game for fantasy. The Dallas Mavericks taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. We are looking at a 240.5 point total starting on the Dallas side of things. Musa Sisse is questionable. That might be significant. Daniel Gafford is doubtful. Kyrie, Derek Lively both out. Caleb Martin questionable. Clay Thompson doubtful, and then Tyler Smith, whoever that is going to be questionable here as well. So another team with a bunch of G leaguers listed. I will say Cooper Flag tonight is playable. Can I prioritize him? Probably not. We did see his first ceiling game since the injury. Last time out against Cleveland, got over 50 fantasy points, which is obviously a good thing. It's a back to back for him. He hasn't been limited on back to backs, but I don't know. I think there's enough plays in that range to can't really call him a core option. On FanDuel, you can play him almost anywhere. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward. A little bit easier to get there. You're paying a little bit more, but I'm fine with him. Just kind of a neutral play tonight. The interesting one to me is going to be, well, not interesting one. I guess interesting position is going to be center, right? Seeing projected lineups right now that have PJ Washington at the five. If he does start at the five, he's going to look really good here. Marvin Bagley, one of the more popular centers on the board here when it comes to value, coming off two bad games against Cleveland, who do pose one of the better defensive front courts in the league. So I do think this is a nice bounce back spot. But I will say, if he comes off the bench, the 21 minutes we have him for is probably accurate. So I would much prefer to see him starting before I go to him there. But I will say, if Washington gets the nod, you can play him at power forward on DK, power forward or small forward over on FanDuel, and he's unowned. So PJ Washington to me, one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate. You could make a case for the rest of the starters. Nemhardy has even been playing well lately if you're desperate for a punt, assuming he starts. But tricky team. But I do love the matchup, Smitty. With which of these Mavericks are you going to get to?
yeah. I think this game looks pretty appealing overall. I'm good with Flag. Don't mind him. And then I think PJ is pretty interesting either way. Whether he starts at center or not, he's probably going to play some center minutes. And he just went off. I think it was yesterday. Getting those center minutes. So I'm pretty interested in PJ Washington either way. And then Bagley, he's fine. He needs to be starting for me to have very much interest, but he's burned me the past few times, so I'm trying to find it in me just to go right back. But yeah, I think Bagley's fine. Brandon Williams could be used as a tournament punt. Same with Najee Marshall, but not too excited about anyone else.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, we saw a stretch earlier in the year where Nemhard was going on every night as the starter. Jason Kidd, he's a point guard at heart and in mind. I mean, he's very tough on these young guys. But if Nemhard continues to play well, I do think he's pretty sneaky as far as an upside play if he's going to start here again. But I do want to just mention PJ Washington back to back double doubles. He's getting over 10 boards, and this is a good matchup for him again. If he starts at center, someone I will be building my night around. Over on the Pelican side of things, some news we're waiting on, I believe. DeJounte Murray is questionable. That's majorly significant. No Bryce McGowens or Hunter Dickinson, a few G Leaguers listed otherwise. The Murray news is huge. If he's in, he's one of my favorite plays on the slate. He has been an absolute beast, and his minutes continue to climb. If he's out, it's going to benefit all of the other starters and Jeremiah Fears, even if Fears comes off the bench. I think this is maybe the most important news that we're waiting on, though. Kind of a tough team to really parse through until we have that news. For now, Murray's kind of a core play for me. If he's out, though, I'll just pivot to Trey Murphy. I think he's probably the best pivot, but guys like Bay, Zion, maybe even Jones are going to see a big boost. Smitty, how do you feel about the Pels?
Yeah, I like the Pels quite a bit too. Really like Murray if he plays. If he don't, I already like Murphy, but I'll like Murphy even more. Just extra shots to go around. Zion to me is kind of just a neutral play. I think he's fine either way. If we do get DeJounte out, though, it's possible he has the ball in his hands a lot more. So I do think he would get a slight bump. Sadiq Bey's fine. Misi, I don't know. I just don't know if we really need the true savings like that on this slate, but I don't mind him. Other than that,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
pretty
with you.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that Murray news is huge. We'll see what the starting lineup looks like if he's out. I'm hoping he's just in though, because again, I think he's one of the better plays on the slate. We talk about it when these guys aren't cheap and they rate this well in value over a 15 value score on both sites for him, sub 8K in that mid 7K range. That's definitely notable. We don't see many plays like that often, so he looks absolutely excellent if he's going to be in there. Another pretty good game for fantasy purposes. We got the Grizzlies here taking on the Chicago Bulls. Grizzlies, Noah Aldama, KCP, Brandon Clark, Clayton is questionable, Edie is out, GG, Ty Jerome both doubtful, Meshack is available, John Morant and Scottie Pippen are both out. So once again, the Grizzlies are pretty thin here tonight. Kind of depends on who's still questionable. Clayton, exactly how thin they're going to be. But right now, I don't mind getting to some Javon Small. Little bit surprised he's not getting more love, even in limited minutes lately, which is everybody on this team. He's been getting there about as consistently as anyone. Cedric Coward getting a lot of love over on DK. I do prefer Small for a little bit more salary, but I don't mind getting to him. The model does like him a lot. Again, just playing limited minutes makes him somewhat tough to get to. Taylor Hendricks, boom or bust. He could boom here. Don't mind mixing him in. That's kind of the theme for this team, right? I think I'm comfortable getting to most of these starters. At the same time, I don't expect any of them to play 30 minutes, which makes it a little bit difficult. Smitty, make some sense of these Grizzlies for us.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. They're all pretty good tournament plays. I'm over the field on a few of them. They're pretty spread out. Like you said, no one really plays over 30 minutes, but their prices are still pretty good. So, kind of a team I'm pretty willing to mix in. Jalen Wells is who I feel best about. Uh, that's who I have the most right now on DK. Just without Jerome, he gets a pretty good bump. So, I'm pretty interested in Wells. Small, I think, is a good tournament play. And then Cedric Coward, I'm slightly under the field. Still think he's pretty good and a good matchup, but just worry about his minutes probably more than anybody. I'm getting to a little bit of Dejan Jarreau, a few percent of Cam Spencer, a couple percent of Tyler Burton. So it's just kind of like a. It's hard to make sense of this team, but I think you can feel best about like Small, Coward, Spencer. All them guys are going to produce, and Jalen Wells.
Yep. I'm right there with you, man. Again, minutes matter for these guys, regardless of their price. But Wells, we project for the most, followed by Hendricks and Small. I think those three are the safest. So right there with you. On the other side of the ball here, we do have the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are favored here. Zach Collins, Jaden Ivey, Mac McClung, Isaac Okoro all out. Nick Richards probable. Colin Sexton questionable. Anthony Simons out. But they're getting Jalen Smith back tonight, which is kind of interesting. He projected to get the start here at center. He did play 30 minutes the other night, or no, yeah, he played 30 minutes against the Lakers. Didn't do great. Game before that, though, 33. Got there against the Warriors. He is getting love here. I do like him enough to get to some. I wish he had forward eligibility on DK. He does over on FanDuel. I prefer him over there. But if he's going to play 28 plus minutes, he's definitely a solid option. Josh Giddey is the most popular pay up on tonight's slate. I get it though. 3 straight games over 60 fantasy points. Arguably the softest matchup on this run. So I can't hate on Giddy ownership here. I do think he's an excellent option. Probably a core play in low risk contests as well. The price on Buzelis, a little bit of sticker shock for me, but at the same time, another guy who's been pretty consistently hitting value. Don't mind him. I don't love having him in lineups with Giddy. If you can't afford Giddy, I do think he's the leverage point. But again, I do prefer getting to a lot of Giddy. The other guy we're going to have to talk about briefly is Leonard Miller. With Smith back, I was a little bit concerned that he'd lose minutes, but he did not. He continues to start, play 30 plus a night, push 30 fantasy points every night. One of my preferred value plays on the slate. I actually like him a lot here, Smitty. How do you feel about the Bulls?
Yeah, the Bulls are a team I'm getting to a lot of. I think Giddy looks like a really good play, especially on DraftKings 9K. There's other pay ups, but there's enough value where you could fit Giddy plus another pay up pretty easily. So I think, especially in low risk, like you said, you start with Josh Giddy and kind of figure it out from there. Jalen Smith, I'm good with. Probably not a player I want in like the majority of my lineups, but on FanDuel with the power forward eligibility is pretty massive. Trey Jones, I think, is playable. Been getting good minutes, but like you said, Leonard Miller, the value play I feel best about on this slate. They've shown that they're just willing to play him. Good matchup against Memphis, and yeah, it's pretty hard to poke holes in him. And this is expected to be a pretty close game too, even against a depleted Memphis team. So Giddy and Miller are my favorite here. Jalen Smith to me seems pretty good as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. Those two are kind of core plays for me. When we get to the dummy builds later, we'll probably get them in certainly on DK. We're through the DK games now, guys. We got two more to talk about over on FanDuel. Before we do, we'll rip through some of these chats. Who's the pivot off Bagley? I think PJ Washington he's a different position if he starts at the 5. Vuk was one I'm not crazy about. I think Jalen Smith looks okay. Smitty, do you have any cheap centers that you're really getting to a lot?
No, it'd probably be the guys you said, really.
Yeah. If you could get to Klingon, he's the safest center tonight, I think. Is Prosper a good pick for Memphis or no on FanDuel? He's kind of neutral to me, man. I like him. I just wish he'd get more minutes, but they've kind of capped him lately. How do you feel about MP?
Yeah, it's kind of hard at that price tag for me, unless we get a few more guys rolled out. Just I don't think he's going to play enough minutes. He's not like a great fantasy producer.
Yep, I tend to agree. Miller from Chicago is another guy we like. Power giving me a hard time, asked me to make sense of Memphis, thought we were friends. Yeah, I kind of laughed when I threw that over to you, Smitty. Definitely a tough team to make sense of right now. Sexton's out, Powered and HB cards are on that, saying Miller is a lock. I do like Miller even more now. We were already on him. Ben brings up an interesting name, Dillingham, playing well lately for these Bulls. With Sexton out, you could go back there. I don't think it's crazy. Smitty, any Robert Dillingham for you?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Sorry, I was reading
Yeah,
this.
in the model, you'll see him scoring really poorly here, but this was before we had the Sexton news. We had Sexton getting 22 minutes. Dillingham over 24 in back-to-back games. I do think he's viable now as value. So this game, definitely a game we will be getting to. Shouts out our man. I think you're on UK time, right, CA? So we are getting to these late games for you here tonight because they are on the FanDuel May slate. Let's get into those right here. We got the battle for Los. No, it's not. We got the Lakers taking on the Rockets. Lakers are slight underdogs here in Houston, 224.5 point total. Really nice injury report today for LA. Maxi Kleber's out. That's it. Nothing else listed. No G Leaguers, no BS. Appreciate you, JJ Redick, for making my job easier. But yeah, Luka's Luka. This is not the best matchup for him, but he's been matchup proof. I saw some jokes on Twitter today. Ever since he's been in this custody battle or breaking up with his wife, he's been an absolute beast. Like the numbers have gone up in every category, so take that for whatever it's worth. Regardless, he's Luka. The ceiling's always going to be there. Reeves is fine. Don't mind mixing him in. I do prefer him over LeBron, who's also viable. Those are the four I'm interested in. Ayton has been very much matchup proof. I actually think he could do all right here against Houston, but at the same time, just not really someone I'm ever excited to play. Smitty, which of these Lakers will you be getting to tonight over on FanDuel?
Yep, pretty much the same. I think it's LeBron, Luca, and Reeves are my favorite. Don't mind Luca at all. Um, I don't mind the Aiton call. I think on FanDuel we have him at 1%. He probably does come in around 1 to 2%. So don't hate taking shots there. But Luca's probably the priority here.
Yeah, Aiton struggled last time out against Houston. I don't know if they have Smith at the five. It's not as good of a matchup. Obviously, Sengun's been pretty bad defensively, but Ime does a pretty good job kind of masking that. Houston, no Steven Adams. Sengun himself is questionable. Jayshawn Tate is out, as is Fred Van Fleet. So I guess if Sengun's out, I do think maybe we see Capella start. I know last time he didn't. We saw Finney Smith at the five, but the Lakers are a big team. I think they would get Capella out there, and if he does start, going to look really good as a value play at center. So keep an eye on that one. Thompson's been playing well. KD's been playing well. Those two look great. They're going to look even better with Sengun off the floor. The Lakers are not a team that really plays a ton of defense. You can make a case for Jabari Smith. I will say if we get some of these guys ruled out, Reed Shepard starts. He becomes appealing. He's been very risky off the bench, though, so probably don't get to him. And Tari Eason's been our boy for the past few years, but lately just not doing very well as a starter. I almost wish they'd start to bring him off the bench again. It is what it is, though. So I like Thompson Durant regardless. I don't mind Jabari Smith. If Sengun is out, Clint Capella is going to become a great play. Smitty, how do you feel about the Rockets?
Yep, pretty similar. I think all five of the starters are in play just because they're going to play a lot of minutes. KD looks pretty good. Amen's been taking a lot more offensively, so pretty interested in getting there. Sengun, if he does play, I think his price is pretty reasonable on FanDuel and Power Forward eligibility, so don't mind him. Jabari to me is just kind of neutral. You're paying a pretty premium tag on him, but if Sengun's out, I think he's pretty playable.
Yep, right there with you, man. One more game now. We get the Spurs taking on the Clippers. Earlier in the stream, we had a lot of comments, questions on the Clippers, guys. If you want to ask those again, feel free. But starting on the Spurs side of things, they are favored here, 233.5 point total. Dylan Harper is out. Luke Cornett is out. Other than that, really nothing all that significant. Pretty decent spot here for Wemby. Again, not a ton to pay up for on DK, but if you're looking for that true pay up, we do have him and Luca over on FanDuel. Wemby looks pretty good here. At the same time, I'm kind of neutral to him. You do have the forward eligibility, which makes him a bit easier to get to, but I don't know. I think balance builds make a lot of sense tonight. At that same time, I mean, Wemby's been a beast, so if you can afford him, not going to talk anyone off playing him. Vassell and Fox are fine. The price is up on Fox now to a point where I'm not as bullish, but he's been crushing lately. Castle, fine. I think all of the starters look good here, even Julian Champagny. Tough to really recommend anything off the bench. But I will say this, with no Harper, the minutes are a little bit safer for Castle and Fox. Probably Devin Vassell as well, who is very scoring dependent. He's been terrible lately, but three straight games over 30 minutes. If he were to ever bounce back, he's going to look really good at that price. So, in summary, I like Wemby if you could afford him. If not, I think the guards look good here. Smitty, how do you feel about the Spurs?
Yeah, exactly the same. I think they all look pretty good, and the starters are pretty secure with no Harper. It helps them a lot, especially Fox, Castle, Vassell. Even Champagny, I think, looks better. His price is really good on FanDuel, so I think he's a pretty solid value. But yeah, Castle Fox, probably my favorite. Wimby, if you can get to him, I think looks good. On FanDuel, you kind of have to compare him to Luca to see who you like more, but I don't think we have enough value to fit them both, but you could try. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's mainly it for me. Just the main guys. Keldon Johnson has a chance to get a few more minutes without Harper. I think he's worth a few percent if you're playing multiple lineups.
Yeah, don't mind it at all. Over on the Clippers side of things, Niederhauser, Beal are out. They've been out. The big news here, though, is no Kawhi Leonard. So Kawhi will not be here hosting his former team, which means we're going to see a nice boost to guys like Garland and Benedict Mathurin. Mathurin probably gets the start here. He's been excellent off the bench, but I think even with the price increase, he's someone I could see getting to a decent amount. I know we got a few guys in the chat who were touting him earlier. I'm with you on him. Don't overlook Garland, though. I think he's just as appealing. The field is getting to him even heavier, so I'm fine getting to both these guys, but they both stand out in a big way. You could mix in Chris Dunn, Derek Jones, even Brooke Lopez, but it's tough to really sit here and say I trust any of them. John Collins is back. He's playing limited minutes, but he's going to cut into those guys. Then Isaiah Jackson has actually been outplaying Lopez off the bench. a decent amount. I don't know that this is the spot where I really want to be forcing him in, but if you're desperate for value late, maybe the news doesn't break the way you want it to. I think you could do worse than getting a little bit of Isaiah Jackson. In summary, Garland, Matherin, both really solid plays. A little bit surprised Matherin's getting only 10% ownership over on FanDuel, but good spot here. Good enough anyway. How do you feel about the Clippers, Smitty?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think Garland and Matherin are kind of like your safe plays. Dunn should play a lot of minutes if this game's close. It's also a terrible matchup, and he might take some more offensive responsibility. So I think he's worth taking a shot on. Don't mind him. Brooke Lopez, his ownership is pretty appealing. Not like the best matchup or anything like that, but I don't mind taking some shots. He's cheap. Um, let's see. Jordan Miller would probably be my favorite. Other than that, 4,600. Don't mind him. We have him for 23 minutes. He has a chance to play a few more minutes than that if he's playing well. So I think Miller's interesting. John Collins, we just don't really know how many minutes he's going to play. We have him at 23. I wouldn't be that interested if he played 23 minutes. So it's Matherin, Garland for me, and then all the rest are kind of just tournament plays.
Yep, I'm with you. And yeah, last show when we were together, I think it was you. I was talking about how I thought Miller could lose some minutes to Collins. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. He's just the true backup point guard now. So, uh, done playing some of the two. Miller's minutes around 24 do seem to be secure. So I do not mind that shout at all. One question slash comment here on this game. We got a few. Hear me out. Could Plumlee be a play with Cornette out? I would say maybe in a different matchup potentially, but after Wemby, I don't really think the Spurs need to go big against this Clippers team, especially with Jackson out there, who's kind of a stretch four. Not a play I'm interested in, honestly. Smitty, any Plumlee for you?
Probably not. It's pretty tough to get there.
Jose asking, why is Missy showing up in the Opto? He's a good point per minute player, and he's dirt cheap. I mean, that's all I could really say about him. Um, Good matchup as well. Like, I don't trust him. I think they could play some small ball here, but if you're asking why, they've been cutting the minutes of Derek Queen lately. Missy's been benefiting from that. Smitty, any other thoughts on Eves Missy?
No, pretty much feel the same. He's just a good point per dollar play.
Yeah, I believe we talked enough about Miller for the Clippers, right? I don't know. He's kind of been getting some more minutes lately, or I always
Yeah.
confuse him and Sanders. They're like the same guy in my head. What are your takes on Miller again? I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think he's good. 2% on FanDuel seems like someone I'll be overweight on.
Yeah, empowered giving Sengun a hard time. Register your lines with Plumlee as a charitable donation. Yeah, it's funny. Plumlee's been in the injury report for conditioning, and they probably just have him running sprints for weeks. He's no longer there, so he should be good to go. At the same time, I don't see him playing more than 10 minutes, so really going to be tough to get to him. I don't think we have any new news, Smitty, so let's go ahead and get into these dummy builds. On DK, looking quickly here, I mean, there's some bulls I really like. Probably going to start with Giddy and Miller, and then I'll throw in what's his name? Klingon, I think we agree on, but throw a few more
Yeah,
names at me.
yeah, I really like Dejounte. We don't know if he'll play, but I know we both liked
Yeah, let's
him.
do this. Let's play DeJounte, and I'll tell folks if he's out, try to play him at guard because you can just pivot to Trey Murphy, right? If he's out,
Yeah,
might need an extra 100 or something, but shouldn't be hard to do. What else do we like? I mean, Gary
yeah,
Payton's okay. I don't know that I want to lock up that value early.
yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see, what do we have?
Bulls look good. I
Like I
mean,
like
PJ
Jalen
Washington,
Wells.
I think either way
Yeah,
looks good. If he starts at the five, though, he's one of my favorite plays.
yeah, I like PJ.
5,800 is too cheap. Yeah, I love that. We need a cheap shooting guard. I mean, Peyton's there. If
Yeah,
Murray's out, Fears starts, he'd be a guy. Again, I mentioned Nemhard. He's risky. I don't think it's crazy. Is it Peyton to be safe, or is there someone else in this range you like, Smitty?
yeah, probably Peyton, unless you wanted to go up a little bit and play Coward, but I kind of feel like they're the same play, really.
Yeah, I lead Peyton slightly. I think Coward probably plays a couple more minutes, but he's a little bit more scoring dependent. Forward and utility were at 5,400 each.
I like Jalen Wells. Um,
Okay, I'm with it. I was going to say Porzingis might be someone, but
yeah,
Wells, I think the minutes are safer. We could probably afford Porzingis. Actually, we could afford something even better. I mean, Kamara 6K, Melton. I mean, small looks good. I think um, probably small.
Yeah, probably small. We could try it with Porzingis too, instead of Wells. See what.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think for the sake of time, I'll just leave Wells in there. But you
Yeah.
guys kind of see where we're at. If you want to go Wells or Porzingis, you probably get a little bit different at the utility. For now, let's leave Wells in, and I'll throw in Javon Small. I think he's a pretty good play. We really like that game between Memphis and Chicago. All right, over on FanDuel, let's kind of backwards engineer this, for lack of a better phrase. It's not really what we're doing, but is there anything from LA or Houston or this Spurs Clippers game? I think the Clippers with no Kawhi are definitely a spot we're looking at. I mean, I like Garland for sure. Maybe Matherin as well. The price is tricky there, Smitty. But from those last two games, who are your first few in?
Probably Garland for me.
Yeah, I already got him in. I like it. Um, Anything from LA, Houston? You think we need? I mean, we obviously like Luca. I don't know that we want to go all the way up, but
Yeah, I don't
um,
really have a whole lot from that game right now. KD I think's good, but I don't know about good enough to like force in.
yeah, we'll see if we get to them. But again, these are all good plays. And again, if we get word that Sengun's out and Capella starts, Capella does become a really good center play. For now, though, let's go ahead and get Klingon in. I think he's kind of the no-brainer at center tonight. If you don't want to think, I think he makes a lot of sense. Um, I don't know. Throw some names at me, Smitty. We got a lot of options here on FanDuel.
I still like Leonard Miller at power forward.
Yep.
I think he's good. There's also Jalen Smith. You could play at power forward. I don't know if we want to play them together. I don't think it matters, but
I don't think it matters, but yeah, at the price, I'm fine with it. I think that's good. Um, what else are
I
we
like.
looking at here?
I still like Giddy even on FanDuel.
Agreed.
There's Tatum. Tatum's 8K. I don't hate it.
Yeah, feels a little bit like a tournament play, but at the same time, it's a great matchup. I think they want to get him his minutes no matter how that game goes. So I'll
Yeah.
throw him in. Is PJ small forward or just power? No, we could play him as small forward.
Yeah.
Kind
And
of like that. 6K left for two shooting guards.
I like
Um,
the do Fox or Castle have shooting guard? I think Castle does.
yeah, yeah, Castle does. I'll throw him in there. I like that call for sure. We're going to go a little bit cheaper here. We get Gary Payton again. I think he's fine, or Champagne. Obviously, you can move some things around. I think Giddy and Garland both have shooting guard eligibility, but pretty good spot here. I think this is where we're going to land. Gafford and Clay are both out. Um, and Powers said, I've been watching Smitty long enough to know that every Memphis click has him cringing a little on the inside. So yeah, I think we got you on FanDuel here. Appreciate you, my man. Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a play is Gary Payton? 6.5, I think. Smitty, how about you?
Yeah, it's just hard because it's the early game too. Like we could have stuff open up later.
Yeah, it's definitely a neutral play. DeJounte, is he in, Chuck? If he is, shouts out our man Chuck. One of my favorite plays on the slate. Yeah, I would try to get to him even over some of these other guards we have. Absolutely love him. Reese is starting over Vuk.
I,
How
I
much
thought
Reese
about
do you
that.
want tonight, Smitty?
That don't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's super cheap on
Is he forward
DraftKings.
eligible is the question. He is.
He also really is not very good, but I don't know. We'll have to see what the model updates to.
Yeah, he has not played in a few games. He's been DNP'd, but I don't know. He's played 25 plus every game he's been out there. I don't hate it. I think you can mix him in. I can see Draymond trying to bully him just because of his last name or something stupid. So maybe keep an eye on that. But hopefully we don't have to clip that one later. Is DeJounte in or out? I don't think we have that news yet, do we, Smitty?
No, I haven't seen it.
No. So, again, guys, the two late games on FanDuel do make a difference, especially when you consider the two highest OF index plays on the slate are in those two games. A little bit different over on DK, makes it a little bit easier to balance things out. So, go and say he likes the unicorn. That's Porzingis now um, with restarting. I don't think any of those guys are great in terms of defense, but pretty fun slate, Smitty. Any last thoughts or words before we get out of here?
Porzingis isn't starting, so I think that's kind of a red flag. They're starting Draymond at the center.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a bit of a red flag. Maybe proceed with caution on KP. But yeah, guys, as always, keep an eye on the news, on lineups, and all that good stuff. If you're not in the Discord, get in there. I think is it Jayhawk today going live right now, talking to you guys up until lock. I guess it could be
Yeah.
Chuck. So don't quote me on that, but we got someone in there sharp helping you out. Like the video, subscribe on your way out. We got March Madness around the corner, MLB around the corner, WBC still going. Chris is posting about those every night, but a lot going on right now over at Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you guys tuning in on a Monday evening. We'll be here all week crushing these NBA slates as we're more locked in than some of these teams are right now. But appreciate you all. Have fun, take care, and good luck.
Good luck.